Welcome to another episode of Coffee Conversation, Stree, Shakti, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business, ICIB, and our tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Today's theme is very interesting, viewers. It is 15 signs you work with brand identity. Today's guest speaker is a very dear friend, Sushmita Nanivadekar. She is a creative brand designer having 2 decades of experience specializing in concepts and delivering tailor-made solutions for corporates as well as the MSME sector. So, Sushmita, our format is divided into 3 parts. First part is a professional part. Second part is your personal journey. And a third part will be the rapid fire, which is a surprise round. So welcome aboard, and let's begin our journey for today's coffee conversation. So Sushmita, my first question will be, how did you start your entrepreneurial journey, and how has it shaped till date?
Okay, thank you, Amirr. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me as a guest on Coffee Conversations, and I really look forward to having some exciting session with you. As you asked, how did I start my entrepreneur journey? So I started my journey in branding in 2010, actually. Before that, I worked with other corporations, other organizations. And in 2010, I decided that I do not wish to work anymore, for anyone and be on my own. So that was the first thought. Second thought was I have been creative ever since my childhood. So somewhere the thought of starting my own was always there, in my mind. I always wanted to do business, but I never got a chance. And then finally in 2009, I took a decision that, anymore, I won't be taking up any more jobs with any organization and start my own. So I started Gyani Customer Solutions, which is a boutique firm located in Mulund in Mumbai in 2010. And my journey throughout has been really a roller coaster ride. I have learned a lot because I've been a first generation entrepreneur from my family. So you would say there was no mentor or something, ki kaise hoti hai and all everything things. So a lot of things I have learned myself. So I can proudly say I'm a self-made entrepreneur in many ways. But I have learned a lot from everyone around me, including my friends, maybe associates, clients, everything. So it has been a fulfilling journey. Yes.
My next question, Sushmita, about your company's name, Gyani Communication. What is the story behind this?
Gyani Customer Solutions, that's the name. Sorry. And Gyani actually means knowledgeable. And Gyani is actually knowledge. So the whole idea of starting this name called as Gyani Customer Solution also comes from my background. I'm a Punjabi. So in Punjabi, Gyani is, it's like the person who's Gyani knows everything kind of this thing. So even that is there. Plus my logo is actually based on Lord Ganesha. I'm a very firm follower of Lord Ganesha. After marriage, I have Ganpati also at my place for many years. So I'm very fond of him. Okay. So if you look very closely to my logo, my own logo, it has Ganesha also in it. So it is G as well as Ganesha.
That's interesting journey. I thought you are a Maharashtrian because you're married to.
My husband is a Maharashtrian. I'm a pure Sikh.
So welcome. So yeah, yes. So blessings of Apna Vaheguru, Guru Nanak Ji. Yeah. So wonderful to know. I have a couple of Sikh friends.
Yes.
It's good to know. So
thank you.
Yeah. Now my next question will be, you started a journey. Now I'm going back to your college days. Okay. You did your graduation in engineering.
Yes.
And then you then you decided not to continue working as an engineer in some company, but you venture into something very different from engineering into designs, branding concept, brand identity. So what got this change came about and who brought this change to you?
Okay. So actually, engineering was never my forte, honestly. I never liked engineering, to be very honest with you. But I did pass with flying colors in it. But it was like, in our days when we were young, most of these decisions were made by our parents or grandparents, to be very honest. Nowadays, children have that liberty to, choose a career they like. And even in our college days, there were hardly few professions available. Mostly either it was engineering, it was chemist, if you do BSc, or it was a medical profession, become a doctor. I actually wanted to be a doctor, but due to some financial constraints at home and some personal issues, my grandfather told me to pursue engineering. And that's how I landed up for an engineering this thing. I did complete it. I got my first job also in an engineering firm in Dynalog India Limited. I started over there. But Amirr, as you know, sometimes destiny plays a role in it. And you're not destined to be an engineer. You are an engineer, but somewhere that creativity was always there in my this thing. And at that company, interestingly, I got an opportunity to work for the advertising firm, which was their sister concern. So apart from my engineering, this thing over there, I also got an opportunity to start working in that firm as a side this thing. And then all this which was hidden inside me, that talent and skills and everything, it started to come out, and I actually started to enjoy the job. And from there, then I started to go more, towards it. I started getting some projects in that organization, and that's how then that shift happened, actually from an engineering background to a creative background. So that has been there.
Interesting journey. You followed a passion and you have achieved a lot. I've seen you.
And also one more thing I could add over here is like, probably is like, I remember when I was as a kid, I used to love the advertisements that used to come on television at that time. So there were very few serials we remember, but there was these ads that used to come, and I used to, mug up those ads. I used to love those ads, and then, I used to keep on repeating those jingles and everything. So probably somewhere it was already there. And it just needed, something, some bolte na kuch to chahiye, just to pop it out. It came up. And after that, there was no looking back. Then I never ever went into, designing the circuits and everything, which I had done. So it was all about branding. Then I learned a lot. I did a couple of courses and everything to, keep abreast of the new trends in the market.
So my next question will be, since you have started your journey in designing and everything, there's one curious question is there. Suppose someone comes up to you for designing a logo. So what is the process step behind designing a logo? We'd like to know because this is a creative process. So how do you start this designing a logo, and the ultimate, the picture then comes up. So right from the concept stage to the delivery stage, how do you go about?
So in my case, when I earlier started, like if I remember my very early days of designing logos, at that time the trends were different. So as the time changes, the trends in the design also changes in the design field. So we have to first understand. So what process I follow, or I have been following ever since in Gyani, is also we give a thorough, a questionnaire to a client even before we start up anything. So that first we listen to the client very effectively. What does he want? What is the positioning of his product or a service? Because positioning plays an important role even before the design. That is what I believe in. If you do not know how to position, what are your target audience, your customers, okay, it will become very difficult for any designer also to give you the right kind of, the logo design. And people mistake ki logo design is the brand design. It is not. So I like to clarify, logo design is just an identity, okay, of your brand. Brand comes and has many other aspects. logo is a visual, you can say, the identity of your, maybe the vision, maybe the company's product, the service, or whatever is the, the logos ko dekh ke aapke paas aate hain, ya what does it convey. So logo has a story, definitely a concept behind it, any logo, any good logo, and that thing we take very clearly before we even start the this thing. So process we follow with a thorough questionnaire, listening to the client, asking them a lot of questions, the competition, the positioning, the vision for the, the long-term vision, everything. And then we start the design process. We give them few concepts. Okay. Then the client chooses the best concept that he likes, which is very close to his heart, or maybe what he is envisioning, his competition also in the market. These are all the things we take in advance from him, and then we do the conceptualization, and then we come to the final product. This is the process we have been following for like many years now in the company.
Good insights. So people who wants to do their logo designing, you know whom to approach. My next question will be, Sushmita. Now, digital medium plays a major part for brand building. So the design strategies has to adapt to this new digital medium. So what has we want to know the traditional way of brand building, brand identity in the print medium versus the online medium. What other differentiators, factors are there, and what changes have come after the pandemic in both mediums?
Actually, the main digital medium has come in last few years. If we take design as a this thing, I remember when I started my career in, say, around 97, 96, 97, that long. At that time, everything was very traditional, everything was hand drawn. Then, they were like, we used to actually make mock-ups with paper and things like that, Then the colors also, the technology was absolutely absent at that time. Online media though was not there only. So at that time, the trends were, I have also, initial days, I have worked on softwares like Ventura. People don't even know what is Ventura, very frankly, because it was a DOS-based software, even before Windows came, So I have worked on OrCAD for designing circuits. So we have worked on certain things, which the current generation or the current this thing wouldn't even know, it would be alien words to them. What is this? But we have made manuals, we have designed flyers on them, honestly. And today, if you see, there are design tools available like Canva. There are so many platforms that have come in especially during the pandemic. If you see, Canva became very popular in pandemic because everything was shut, so there was no medium to explore. So people were exploring new things, and then the digital age came very fast. But my thought process ever since been so many years is this: design trends do come. Okay, different. I mean, fads also come. Like something becomes popular for some time, and then it fades away, and again you're back to the basics. So in design, this thing, the basics always remain the same, whether it is digital, whether it is offline, whether it is online. Your basics of a designing a logo will remain the same. Only the tools have changed. Earlier it was Corel Draw, so maybe now you have Figma, Canva. There are so many other things, Illustrator. So I myself use Illustrator a lot to design things. Okay. Then there is for images, there is Photoshop. So these are the softwares that the designer would prefer rather than preferring the online tools that are there. So it's all about like emerging and evolving with the times that have come. Online media definitely is very useful, Amirr, these days, because everything is digital. Okay, we are moving towards more digital era also in the coming times, and we do need easier tools to do something, design something or think something or maybe scribble something. So definitely online media is helping in certain ways, but you cannot rely totally on the online media. You still need some offline things to be done before before you even start to sketch. I mean, I honestly, being an old school, I do sketch now also before I actually come to the to the software to do something. It's been my practice for years. I love doing it. Maybe the younger generation would immediately prefer an online tool to do something, but trends are changing. But there are few things that would always remain the same. One is like, what I understand is like strategizing. How do you strategize the brand? Okay, what are the requirements that are needed? What is your target audience? What is the positioning that you're playing in the market? Okay, how often do you use social media? Do you use social media more? Because it all depends on which social media again you're using. Because we have a plethora of social media these days. So you can't be present on everything and everyone because it may not suit you. So that understanding will always be offline and then the online part.
Good way. My next question will be, since design trends are changing every day, and so how do you keep abreast of the design concepts vis-a-vis your way of working?
I normally read a lot. Reading has been my habit for many years. Okay, I still read a lot. So I read a lot, maybe online as well. There are good books that I invest in. So I have a couple of books on designing as well in my library over here in office. And I read a lot. So whatever that, then most important thing is like creativity is within. If it is from within. So how you visualize. So design comes later. But Amirr, if you are able to visualize something, like when I'm talking to you about something, or you have told me to design a logo or whatever, maybe for your brand, okay, before even that, how do I visualize that in my mind? So visualization is extremely important, whether it is offline or online. How do you visualize something before you even put it on paper? And that normally comes from within. That is one. Second, nature helps us a lot. So if you are very, you're an observer, you observe what are the things that are around you, what are the color trends. Maybe even when we visit a mall or something, there are so many things on display in front of you. Maybe a new collection of clothes, maybe color display, maybe some styles and everything. So I, being into that, okay, I observe also a lot. I listen also a lot from other people. What are they talking about? So maybe for me, nature actually helps me a lot while creating something. That has been my journey.
You're like an artist who
Yes. An artist always visualizes first what he has to do something, and then he takes the paper and then does this thing.
Then he starts. So good to know, because this is a sign of creative person. So you are one among those creative person, creative artists. My next question will be, Sushmita, okay, developing a brand identity for a particular target audience. What is the process step do you follow?
Like for the, can I get the question again, Amirr, on this?
Developing a brand identity for particular target audience, or what do you say, for youngsters, for example. So how do you, for brand identity for a product, how do you, what are the steps followed for developing that brand or brand identity for that product?
So the steps normally start basically from the logo concept, actually. So brand identity normally revolves your logo. That is the first thing. Second, it could be the marketing collaterals that are needed to market. Like, for example, if we are talking about offline, then it can be the flyer, it can be the brochures, it can be a company profile if the company is a corporate or an MSME. So these are the offline things, or maybe some other things like additional things like promotional items like mugs, coffee mugs, t-shirts, caps, such kind of thing to maybe support that brand, that identity. That is one. So the process normally involves is first, the way I earlier also mentioned, that first understanding it right from the client. Okay, so giving a good questionnaire to them. That is always I have followed that. That helps a lot, because once you get a questionnaire which is based on what the client has in mind and what is the product, okay, we also understand who are the competitors. okay, of that particular this thing in that same space or in that same sector. That is second thing. That is very, very important, because at times the clients may have very, very tough competition in that particular space. That is very important to understand it. Then what are the colors the client or the company would go for? That is extremely important, because being visual identity, colors play a very, very important role. The styling, if the fonts are used, what kind of fonts are used. So you can't use a corporate font maybe for a celebration kind of a this thing. So depending on maybe, for a perfume kind, for example, if I have to design a logo for a perfume brand, okay, then the font and the look and the feel would have to be very, very different, rather than designing maybe the same logo, similar logo for a technology company or a corporate company. So it varies very much. So then there are different types of logos. So we clearly understand from the customer, what is he looking for? Is he looking for a symbolic logo? Is he looking for a name logo? So there are different types of logos that can be done for a same kind of, the name or this thing. And at times I also get such kind of, people who do not even have a name for their product. So they are even searching for a good name to be made a brand. So we even help them with a good number of, you can say names to choose from, depending upon this questionnaire. So then we are able to come at a right name which justifies the vision of that company, the USP of that product or that service. Okay, and then we do the design process. So recently, if I may give you an example, is last year I had done had given around 30 to 40 names for one of a client who is into fitness industry, and he wanted to start a center at Andheri in Mumbai, and he was looking for a very unique name. So at least 40 to 50 names Amirr I gave him, and then we chose the name called as Relevate, RELEVATE. So it was a combination of restarting your journey, because his audience was above 60 to 70 years of age. So for them, restarting their fitness journey was the actual crux. So we wanted to give a name wherein we are elevating their health, okay, and the name aptly was given to that, and we chose that, and then a logo was run on that similar lines with all the other things around that. So it's very, very important to first understand what are you going to launch. That is one. What is your target audience, and what is your vision actually? Not a short-term vision, but a longer-term vision of at least, you must have a good long-term vision of at least 5 to 10 years minimum when you are entering the entrepreneur journey, or maybe you're at a startup journey, wherever you are. That helps a lot.
Good insights you have shared. So anyone who's looking for developing a new brand or upgrading, incorporate these points. My next question will be, Sushmita, storytelling has become a big part in developing a brand. I'd like to know, by share some examples where you have incorporated storytelling, and how did it help the brand to grow?
Yes. Amirr, that's a very good point you have raised over here, storytelling. People even forget names, but people never forget a story. If it is told right, if it hits your, heart, if it fills up you with emotions. And let me tell you, the biggest change that has come in the last 25 years is, earlier the brands used to be more of, intelligence, but now the world has moved towards emotional. That is, if you have, even you may have seen some ads recently. Last couple of years, we are moving into more into, the emotional connect. So your, maybe that whatever your product or this thing is very subtly shown through an emotional ad, and it touches your heart. So the entire world is moving towards empathy, kindness also at the same time, and the ads or the brands need to speak more emotionally. So that's a very good point you have asked. Here I would around 7 years ago, I had a chance to meet one of a prospective client, and they're based here only in Mumbai. And they were coming up with, they wanted to, launch a brand in India for the first time under the name of medical diabetic socks. That is what the product is. Okay. Now there are a lot of players who have these kind of products which are diabetic or medical socks. You can find a lot of them on the on even Amazon and Google. But the USP of this brand is like the work we did for them was that the name kept for the socks is Siona, Syouna. It is Siona, and this is a patented technology from US. Okay, and they have a manufacturing unit here itself in India, wherein when the socks is made of a fabric which carries this minerals in them. Okay, there are very small compounded minerals, okay, which is the USP of that product. And Siona means a ray of light. And the ray of light is that UV light, UV infrared light. So when the whole idea is when you wear that socks, okay, and if you're diabetic, it gives a lot of comfort because people who have very high sugar and who are diabetic for very long, they have a lot of trouble in their, in their knees, in their, even in their feet and everything, tingling, numbness, a lot of things they start to experience over years. So this socks helps them, even in flight, you can use them for long distance travel, you can use them. So this whole concept, the logo is also done in such a way. I can share also later. Is done in a way taking all these things into account while designing the logo, and plus how the socks helps them. So their Facebook page has numerous success stories of people using it, their own experiences. Okay, and it's like. Very nicely the concept has been put up. So the flyers done there, all the other packaging material, very nicely we had done, showing that nice infrared lighting up. Actually, when you don't see it, but that's that's the thought behind it, how it actually is there in that fabric. Very minute very minute particles are there of that mineral in that. So this is the whole idea. So that has been a very hit ever since it's launched. Now it's almost 6-7 years. People are using it. It's growing day by day, and we have done a lot of work for them, right from their logo design to their new packagings, new products below that. Then they have medical socks. Then they have sports socks. They have even in COVID, when COVID hit, we came up with masks, silver ion masks. So a new technology, again, that packaging showcases everything. So it connects to the people a lot. People inquire also a lot, and the brand is a hit. So that's you can say one of the success stories. There are many that way, but this is one.
My next question was on that part only. Share some memorable different projects during your.
Another memorable project I can share is of around 8-9 years ago, almost a decade now, I would say. I got a project to work with Mahindra Solar at Worli headquarters when it was there at Worli, and now it has shifted. So they came up with the solar division. So it was very interesting because I got this work through a reference, and the manager told me they had a 19 by 8 feet wall just before the office to be put up as a digital drawing, you can say. So 19 by 8 feet, it was a huge wall, and he wanted their solar products to be drawn in such a way that an entire village is shown. And the concept was very challenging for me because on half side, I had to show a day kind of this thing. And with solar, this thing, in the night, this village lights up. So I really remember this. Why? Because the work was very huge in terms of design and everything, and doing it digitally at that time was challenging because we didn't really have so many tools also. Online was not so much, like all these kind of things were not there too much. So we had limitations in that. Second limitation for me was it had a deadline which I had to complete. And when I went to him with my first concept and I showed to him, he liked everything. But the first thing is just told me, Sushmita, this is not an Indian village. You have drawn a Switzerland village, okay? And I want that look of a Indian village. Indian village ka hut kaise hota hai? Aise hota hai kya? So I was like, I was really, at that time it was, I thought okay, now he doesn't like it. Probably this is all gone to, that was my first reaction. And the second thing, I came back to office and then I thought how to now do this, whatever he's asking for. So it was challenging. Then I just called him up next day and said to the manager, sir, give me 2 days. I will first draw a small part of it. I will show it to you. If you like it, then we'll go ahead. Otherwise, it's all right. I mean, I was ready to step back. Then for next 2 days, I made all those huts and everything, okay, digitally on Illustrator. I sent him a small pic, a man standing, this, that, everything. The moment he saw it, he called me up and said, Amirr, Sushmita, you can proceed. This is okay. Now you can design the entire village with everything. I need a school, I need a this thing, that thing. मुझे चौराहे चाहिए, लोग वहाँ पे चबूतरे पे बैठे हैं. And he wanted a typical village look with all the things. We completed that project. It took me almost 1 month because of the wall's capacity and everything and the challenges in it. But we completed that entire this thing. We put up over there. The printing also was very huge at that time. And nowadays it's become much easier. But at that time, because of the restrictions of the machines and the colors and everything, it was a little challenging. So I remember this project, but then that project was very well done, very nicely completed. And for many long time, it was there on that wall. I do not know about now because it's been almost 8-9 years now. So, but very interesting for me. I also learned a lot while doing that. Our team learned a lot. So that's a very memorable project I've done.
Interesting. Some projects, you have lifetime memories and you learn new things, implementing the new things,
Yes.
which helps you in future projects. I've done this thing in the past in this project. So it's wonderful to know. My next question will be, it's a tricky one, handling tough clients. You must be faced some very tough clients, and being a lady dealing with the men, how do you come to an amicable or a middle ground?
Yes, but that I think, Amirr, happens in every industry. You do have tough clients everywhere. Okay, at times, yes. Yes, I have also had a couple of them wherein it has been very difficult to deal with them at times because see, most of the things now, Amirr, in our industry, what we designers face is, people sometimes coming to us are not very sure of what they want. That is the first problem. It can be an issue. They like something, then they like something else somewhere. They have something else in their picture, in their mind, okay, and then they're not clear of what exactly they actually want from you or from anyone, or like for that matter. So even when we ask them a lot of questions or in our own way to make them feel comfortable, that there will be certain people who would still not gel, who would still not come to that, even in spite of your best efforts, best this thing. It happens because we are human, so everybody has their own thought processes, so it does happen. So at that time, when it is very, very difficult and we start to understand after a couple of time gone that they are probably, or we are not probably able to satisfy them, the best thing that we do is we most of the time then say a no to them. The reason is because it is better to say in a way professionally also, because they may not get satisfied even any amount of things you do for them at times. One second. Sorry. I think you can take this again. There was a difference.
You can continue.
Yeah, so you may cut it in between.
Yeah, sorry. Don't worry. That will be managed.
Yeah. So at times when the clients understanding also and everything doesn't gel, okay, we try our best. I try my best to help them with whatever they are asking for and things like that. But when it doesn't happen, I then normally say no. It is much better. People say that saying no is not a good, but at times when you are really facing a lot of this thing from them and you are not able to, it is better to say a no rather than facing that that guilt, that wrath, or whatever will come along with that. So the more clearer you are with them, Okay. And the simple thing is, first listen to them as much as possible. If you're asking for tips, is okay, what is exactly are you looking for? Why are you not satisfied? Or what is it like you want in mind? Okay. Then maybe again you maybe redesign it, restructure it, re-strategize it for that client and give it. Still not okay. Couple of iterations more to make that person come to some this thing. You will get certain signs from them, some subtle signs from them, wherein maybe you are able to catch up. ऐसे हो जाता है कभी कभी. But in my journey of so many years, these kind of clients have been very less. I would say I have not yet been able to, because I've always had this approach of me. First, try to understand what he wants. Whosoever, it could be a corporate, it could be an MSME, whatever they are. If you understand through that questionnaire, which I have made on my own self and I send it, you probably get 90% of the answers through that. It's very clear because I'm asking the questions very nicely, very clearly to them. So even if that person is confused or doesn't know where to arrive or what should I write over here, he can definitely pick up a call, talk to me, ask me, I didn't understand this. Okay, what do you want here? It becomes much easier. And still, कभी कभी होता है मेरे साथ में 2-3 ऐसे instances हुए भी हैं wherein the clients have been extremely tough. In spite of giving them the best and so many changes and everything, they're not convinced. Or probably they come to this thing कि अभी मुझे नहीं चाहिए इसे. Something like that. Or I don't know what goes in their mind. It's very difficult to. But the best is you keep satisfying to the end. That is what has been my this thing mantra. If you still cannot, then please say a polite no. It is much better. And move on.
Good tips is for this is a way of client relationship you have shared, Sushmita. He may come back again in future, and you may be working with him on a bigger scale. The way we gracefully exit, he will remember you and divine.
I have clients coming back to Amirr. If you're asking that question, yes, I have had clients wherein they have gone away, okay, for whatever the misunderstandings, and then they have realized it, and then they do come. I've had instances.
Superb. So,
yeah.
your.
But then being in the service industry, it is our this thing also quoted to leave the grudges or whatever they say. If it is really beneficial, why not again help them? It's always been there.
My next question will be, what is the impact of color psychology and font psychology while designing?
Colors, definitely. Definitely, Amirr, because colors make or break a logo also, I would say. Okay. It all depends on what is the market you're serving. Okay. European markets, if you're serving, Indian markets, if you're serving, there is a contrast of colors. Indian people prefer very bright, those kind of colors, something which is very catchy to the eyes and things like that. They want that kind of colors. Indian market वैसी है. European market is the exact opposite है. Okay, they would prefer pastel colors. They would prefer soothing colors. Okay, and such kind. But yes, every sector, when we are designing, we take care of all these things while playing with the colors. Because if the customer is a corporate kind of a customer, okay, then the colors over there need to be in the corporate shades. Okay, and most of the people again have a myth over there कि मुझे blue चाहिए. Blue is the most used color, very frankly. Okay, corporate bola to okay, I need a blue color. It is not like that. Okay, being into this world for so many years, okay, we have so many millions of colors on the color wheel. Blue can be used, but you can use some nice shades of blue if the client is very persistent, on that. But you can also show him maybe some shades of purple, could be, some other shades which are not very, strong to the eyes, but also go with the brand and everything. So when we are doing the designs also, even for our this thing, even maybe for social media, even we normally design a brand kit. Okay, a brand kit is given to the customer along with the logo, wherein the 5 colors are given to them. So 2 primary colors, that is 2 main colors which are used in the logo, and 3 colors that will support that wheel. So always they will have 5 colors to choose to make the social media presentation or any kind of presentations. They will always have these brand colors and the Pantone shades are given to them. So while printing, you can use them. For any kind of your promotional material, you can use them. So what happens is all these things start to make your brand reach out, okay, in the right way, rather than using a pink color sometimes, rather than using a green color sometimes, or whatever different shades. Okay, you are confusing the audience as well, the target audience. Second important thing is font colors also. Fonts also. Fonts are very, very important because there are different types of fonts. The way earlier also I said, you have business fonts, you have celebration fonts. I mean, like party fonts and those kind of fonts. Food fonts are different. Like if I have to design a logo or something for maybe a restaurant, the font over there I would use would be more trendy, more catchy, more curly, or that kind of a font. But when I'm doing it for maybe for a corporate company like Tata or somebody like that, I would use subtle fonts, business fonts, which are like, like Helvetica, Arial, and these kind of family fonts, So it's very, very important for the designer to know what you have to give. It's very important. That's why I said reading helps a lot. If you read a lot, you would get to know what are the trends, what are the colors of the year. Now, this year's color is Viva Magenta. I don't know how many designers even know it. But every year, there is a Pantone shade that is announced as the color of the year. And how do you use it? Okay, what does that color signify? Colors signify a lot. When should you use red? When should you use blue? When should you use a green? Okay, so all these things, at least I take a lot of care when I'm doing a logo design also. I will always, depending on that requirement or that whatever is the sector, we give the colors. So this is extremely important.
Beautiful concepts you have shared, which is will be continuing. We have another series of the mini coffee where it is the name is Advantage.
I hope my answers are
no, beautiful answers they have given. I'm also learning many new things. We have done what do you say under the Emerging India Forum. What do you say? Learning webinars on Canva. I have come across the 7 deadly sins of designing, where I came to know about this color psychology, the font psychology, so many things, the placements, what the design elements are there.
Yes.
So the 7 deadly sins was very give a beautiful insights. And I had done a coffee conversation, which was my, what do you say, this second episode with Krishna Vasani and Gaurav Gupte, both IBG members, on design hacks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So now we have come up with this thing of having mini coffee where we give the subject expert like topic. They give us some questions, or we devise some 5 to 10 questions. We do it on live, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, or Instagram Live, and there it is on your topic of interest. So I have something planned for you.
Great, very great.
With the insights which you have shared, that topic will come to you later. Yeah. Sure. Now continuing our conversation, I've come across this project, Kshitija, for underprivileged girls aged between 12 to 18 under WICCI Maharashtra Health and Fitness Council. What is the project, and tell us something about this project so we can also be part of this project.
So Amirr, this project actually we initiated last year when I got the opportunity to be with Vicky. So I'm the Vice President for the Maharashtra Health and Fitness Council. So I and our President Gitanjali Bise and a couple of other volunteers, we started this project called as Kshitija in Koregaon, Mumbai. So this is like we are imparting them education for especially for the underprivileged girls, wherein we have 2 to 3 volunteers who teach them a lot about this teenage problems when the girls are growing up, especially. So it could be teen pregnancy, it could be the menstrual hygiene. There are a lot of things when at that age there are a lot of questions in the growing kids, okay, and they do not know where to ask them probably, or they do not have enough knowledge, and they may land up into trouble or in some unsafe hands. So our initiative is to make them learn, make them understand, okay, through their this thing, through their different activities and everything. We do a lot of activities. We have done other. We have even a gynec coming and examining them, checking up their vitals, blood tests, and things like that. And also doing up some small activities to make them understand, the age they are going through. So the reason we chose this 12 to 18 is because that's a very nascent age and a very age wherein people have a lot of questions, okay, about even the opposite sex and many things. So through this initiative, we are trying to, educate them and become more responsible citizens. Plus also maybe later on our idea is to help them maybe with some employment as well. So we are still on the lookout of such kind of, things wherein we could help them with the education and other things as well. So this is the whole project going on.
Wonderful project, which is a need of the hour, and good work you all are doing. My next question, Sushmita, will be, you're part of a couple of networking groups like BNI, IBG, others. How important it is to be part of such networking groups, and how has it helped you in building a career?
Amirr, for me, definitely BNI has helped me a lot, very frankly, because when I started my journey in 2010, when I started Gyani, I was like you can say it was luck that favored me. I was part of BNI Genius chapter at Andheri, and it helped me a lot. Being a first generation entrepreneur, I had really no idea how to run a business, to be very frank, at that time. When I remember those days, okay, it was everything, observing other people, what are they doing, what are the trends, reading a lot in economic times. I remember that. And then, trying to adapt a lot of things into my business. So when you're working for someone and when you're on own, okay, these are two, very different, you can say, things. When you're working for someone, it's a very different thing, okay, but when you're on own, I think right from in your startup days, you are actually from a peon to the CEO of the company. You are everything, to be very honest. And slowly you build up everything, the team and employees, this that period. If a networking group enters your life, I think it makes a lot of difference, because the trainings that you get over there, maybe the interactions that you get with the fellow members, okay, you learn a lot. So for me, joining this group at that time really helped me immensely, and it shaped me also as on a personal level, as a professional, in many ways. I mean, there's so many things there are there. Being a part of IBG, definitely. IBG was introduced to me by Prasanna. So he said it's a wonderful group, and it's been a year over there. And my journey again is restarting in that on a different level, because members over here are of a different, very different level as compared to the earlier interactions in other organizations. Plus, I'm a part of now Wiki also. But for me, I would say for any startup, if you're really looking to, grow yourself, not as a business, also on a personal front, I think networking plays a very important role. You must be a part of a good networking group, be surrounded with like-minded professionals. Okay, these people will really help you in many things. Especially if you are a first generation entrepreneur. Apart from that, these networking groups provide so many events also at times. There's so many things. Socials are there. There are other parts which they come up with. A lot of, especially in IBG, I see a lot of consulate meetings happening and things like that. So definitely very important. So I would suggest that everybody should be a part of a good networking group. Definitely.
Very true, very true. I have a lot of good friends, and in my this 3 years journey of being a host of Coffee Conversation, we have come across beautiful people who have said yes to coming as a guest speaker to my Coffee Conversation. Now we have got around 6 series of Coffee Conversation, where we started earlier. Now we have got 6 series: the emerging lawyer, the emerging entrepreneur, the emerging professional, the emerging cybersec professional, then the emerging student,
Great.
Stree Shakti.
Great.
We have did a ebook launch for our Stree Shakti guest speakers. So
I read about Shraddha Subramaniam's this thing you had put up on this. Yes.
Yeah, so 8 women stories were highlighted in this Stree Shakti. They were the guest speakers at our coffee conversation under Stree Shakti. We did a story highlight of them, which we publish on our website, the imagingindiaforum.com. And so that is now we have done advantage learning bites with Shraddha also. We have done with Rashna Jahani also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll listen to them. Their this thing.
Yeah. Rashna herself gave the topic for startup compliances and the questions were made. So we give the liberty and freedom because in this mini coffee conversation, the advanced learning bites, we want the speaker's expertise to come across.
True.
In the main coffee conversation, it is a personal and professional journey, which in a, informal chat format, we are doing like we're sitting in a coffee shop and having a conversation. So there is a lot of research goes behind this and the questions, the conversation goes and the questions also we have, but there will be questions coming across, new questions. So my last question for your professional journey, I have few more, but time limitation is also there, and I've got 2 more rounds to cover. What advice will you give to a youngster who wants to come in this industry as an entrepreneur or join advertising company for designing and brand identity?
Amirr, my experience I have shared, but one thing I would like especially the young generation who are looking up for a career in this or maybe starting on their own, is follow certain principles, values. Okay, if you have a strong foundation done, okay, then probably you can succeed, or you can keep relearning, learning, and everything. But your foundations have to be strong. You need to have some values, because we come from a culture or we come from a background wherein when we were young, we were imbibed certain cultural values, certain things, even in our personal lives and things like that. We come from that this thing. But youngsters these days, because of the online this thing, at times I have seen they do not follow the design principles. Even you must have encountered while like the way you said Canva workshops, and where to place what, how to place what will look good, does this blend with this, they think okay, I know Canva, I know Illustrator, or I know a particular tool, I'm a designer, or I have completed my graphic design diploma, I'm a designer. It's not like that. A lot goes behind the scenes. Okay, design is just not the way Steve Jobs. I follow Steve Jobs a lot. Why is Apple? Okay, why is it that way? If Steve Jobs would have compromised or done anything, I don't think today people would have bought Apple the way they buy, even though he's not there. But his brand, his legacy lives on because of the kind of things they have done in that company, or even for that matter any big brand if you take. So there is a lot that goes behind in creating something. Okay, it is just not like ye color dal diya, ye dal diya aur meri dekho meri post 5 minute mein tayar ho gayi. It doesn't go that way. So for the younger generation, my tip would be, please research properly before you do anything for a client. Okay, research is extremely important. What is the positioning? Positioning is extremely important. So please read books if you can. Okay, it doesn't really cost a lot of time. If you cultivate that habit, even half an hour if you give for a book reading, there are very good books available on branding, especially on positioning. The first book I read when I started my this thing was the Art of Positioning by Jack Ulrice, and this thing. It's a very popular book. Then there are a couple of other self-help books, which can help you. read books written by branding gurus, okay, so that you get the right kind of knowledge. Number one, so knowledge is extremely important. How are you going to implement it depending on what is the positioning? So that is extremely important. And then probably you start the design process and come to the right kind of you can say the identity that you wish to create for that client. So there are a couple of things. Yes, please have an open eye to what is going on around you. Draw inspiration from nature. The way I say, nature gives you a lot, a lot. Whenever you are observing nicely, you get a lot of inspiration, plus your own ideas. So your thoughts. So maybe writing your thoughts while you're thinking something about. So research is one, writing is second. So people don't write these days much, Amirr, but it is a very good thing. If you can write your thoughts, you will come to certain, what is the strategy I need to prepare for this client? What does he want? What are his competitors? Study their competition. That is very important. You will get a lot of insights. Okay. Then also the clients at times have these things in mind like, मुझे ये कलर बहुत अच्छा लगता है या मुझे ये लोगो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So it may not belong to their space. But why do they like it? Is it because of the styling? It is because that logo has a story behind it, or maybe a campaign, or what exactly? So all these things play a very, very important role. So thoroughly study, research, and then implement. So probably you will not have bad clients more, you'll have good clients in the long run. And also you will build your brand in the future. That is how it is.
Beautiful tips. So we come to this professional part now, your personal part. Let's begin. Sushmita, how do you de-stress yourself?
For me, de-stressing, actually being a creative person, designing itself is de-stressing at times, okay? Because the more you go into the process of something, thought process and everything, that is one. Second, of last few years, I have entered into spirituality. So I read a lot of spiritual books. I listen to audios also as well in my free time. And music is something, Amirr, I need to have. So if you say what de-stresses you the most, music. I need to have music, good music when I'm designing, okay, or even I'm doing some other work. So all these things I keep doing. I write also a lot. I'm a very active user on LinkedIn. So whatever thoughts come to my mind, I normally try to share on entrepreneurship, on branding, on whatever is there at that time. So these are a couple of things that de-stress me.
So my next question will be, since you listen to music, so which type of music helps you, inspires you?
When I want to relax, I really listen to relaxation music. Okay, when I want to, if it's been a very frenzy day or something, then I would like to relax with some soothing music. But when I'm doing something creative, at that time, I normally like to listen to some, very peppy music to pep me up, motivate me up. So it varies. It varies according to the mood, but mostly these. Yes.
Superb, superb. Now, Sushmita, who is your biggest supporter in life?
My biggest supporter in my life has been two people, or you can say my family, but two main people, if I have to tell you, is my mother and after marriage, my husband. Both of them have supported me in thick and thin of my life through my, you can say, health issues as well, everything. So I'm blessed to have them.
Superb. Now, what is your mantra in life?
My mantra is in life is never give up. It's very short and sweet. Never give up. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. That I've seen your journey and you have achieved with this mantra, and more things are there in pipeline. Now, Sushmita, what is a day in the life of Sushmita like?
These days, it's thoughtful, calm, and composed because of a lot of inner you can say pandemic actually gave us a lot of things to ponder on, very frankly, Amirr, because when lockdowns happened, we had a lot of time on hand to introspect ourselves. Actually, it was not for the world, it was to introspect our own self. And I think it was an inner journey for me to take on during that time. And I did that. And I'm thankful that I did it. That is the reason I ventured a lot into spirituality and many other things related to it. And it really helped me to become a more composed or a more balanced person. Okay. Be more I'm anyways very helpful and empathetic by nature from within ever since my childhood. So probably that came out. So all these things you can say has now made me a very different person than I was some years ago. Yes. So that evolving has happened, and I'm glad it happened. I don't regret.
Whom do you follow in the world of advertising and branding? Sorry, advertising and branding.
See, I normally follow our branding gurus. Earlier, I used to follow, and the way I said, I follow certain brands. Like I am very ardent fan of Steve Jobs. If you look at the branding, this thing, I have a lot of books, Amirr, on different companies, brand success stories like Starbucks story and things like that. So, couple of them I have. So that I read, I follow them. Then some good companies. I'm a very ardent fan of Ratan Tata. Everybody loves Ratan Tata. But yes, the way Tata has built up or is, it is on those human grounds. Okay, that is the essence of that entire company. And I love that. So there are a couple of companies I follow rather than I would say brand gurus in advertising. I like to follow them. I follow their pages on LinkedIn as well, draw inspiration from them, try to imbibe whatever is good from that. So that has always been, you can say it's my nature. So I like to do that. So that is how it is.
That's wonderful. You follow the brands, you get a lot of insights because you come to know about the brand.
Rather than following the people, it is better to follow the brands because they keep coming up.
तो मालूम ही पड़ जाता है ना गुरु इसमें डिजाइन करा हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली लिंक हो ही जाता है.
Yes.
एक साथ में दो काम हो जाते हैं. That's wonderful. Yeah. My next, describe Sushmita in one line.
I'm very courageous and brave.
Wow, that's all. What legacy would you like to leave behind, Sushmita?
Okay, that's a tough question, but I'd like to answer it. Legacy, to be very frank, till a couple of years, I'd never ever thought of. But yes, of late, as we are now aging and coming more into the middle age and things like that, that questions have started to pop up. Yes. So this year, actually, I'm planning to write a book. That's on my bucket list. That is one. So I haven't yet thought much about it, but yes, definitely, I'm going to write a book. And this year, I turned 50. So I have thought of something, that would, maybe help the next generation. Probably maybe on entrepreneurship or something else which will help them. So that is one. Second is like in pandemic when everything was shut and all the lockdowns and everything happened, we came up with this platform called as BizI card. That is the digital business card which we started to develop in pandemic actually. 2021, and then this platform is now used by a lot of people. So legacy that I would like to leave behind is this platform. I'm growing in many different ways. So it is just not an e-card. It is more like a community building around that, plus many other things that are planned up this year in it. Okay, so I would like that to reach to more than 1 million users. That is my dream, you can say, all across the globe. So I'm doing all our best efforts in making that dream come true. So we'll be putting up a lot of efforts on that in this thing process. So probably that's the legacy I would like to leave behind, or I don't know what future still comes with after. But currently, these are the things on my mind.
Superb. Leaving behind a platform which is very memorable. So good luck to that. So friends, we have come to the second round. Now the surprise round. So you have to be very quick in answering. Sushmita, your favorite color, blue or green?
Pink. Pink.
Okay.
I like pink. Not the hot pinks and things. Subtle pinks.
So, nice. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Very bad.
Sorry to say that word over here, but it's a coffee conversation. But I mean, my favorite drink is tea.
In tea, which one?
Normal tea. Apna ginger tea and all. Regular Indian tea.
Regular Indian tea. That's nice.
Yes.
Hindi songs or English songs? Which is
both.
Wow.
I like music, so I said I'm not like very fond of this or that. Both equal.
Your favorite dish?
Sambar rice anytime.
You are a South Indian?
No, I'm not a South Indian, but I like some. So yes, anytime. Or if you ask for a Punjabi, this thing, being a Punjabi person, then I would say kadhi chawal, kadhi rice.
Wow.
The Punjabi curry.
The Punjabi curry, yes.
Yes.
So you should visit this Panchampuri at VT.
At VT.
Good food. Yeah. Which is your favorite restaurant to go to?
Favorite restaurant for food?
Yeah.
Amirr, there are a lot of choices.
Chalo, teen so I'll remember those restaurants and I'll try them. Because I'm a foodie.
Actually, I and my husband are that way very foodie kind of for people. We love to try new cuisines wherever we understand, in Mumbai especially. But favorite, if you tell me, what difficult. But one of the favorite is mainland China. I can go to mainland China anytime and enjoy the dishes over there. Yes.
Wow. So there is this festival is there, GIRF, the Great Indian Restaurant Festival. You can get good deals. You can visit beautiful restaurants. We friends have gone to a couple of restaurants and you tried different cuisines and you're saving on your pocket. 50% discounts you get. So you should try it out.
Another favorite, if you say I forgot this thing, Regal at Regal. I'm not recollecting the name now. Near Regal Cinema.
Near Regal Cinema.
Cafe Mondegar.
Oh, Cafe Mondegar. There are a couple of restaurants are there. Cafe Mondegar is there. Then Dili Darbar is there. Then Foodin is there. There's one
many
Muslim restaurant also there, which Tileki serves good. This what do you say? Beja fry.
Yes, but I am more of vegetarian. So I don't take.
Then there is one more restaurant is there near
food anytime.
Which we visited under this GIRF. I can't recollect the name. It's in place of Tendulkar's. They've opened. It's a restaurant. Good food.
Okay.
I'll share you the name. So
sure.
It was a wonderful conversation we had, friends. It was truly a coffee conversation tagline, engaging conversation, enriching lives, to the T which Sushmita delivered it. So thank you, Sushmita, for this lovely conversation, and to our community partners and to our tech partners.
Thanks so much.
Look forward to another coffee conversation episode, and do watch out our episodes on the Coffee Conversation Show on the YouTube channel. So stay connected and stay safe. Thank you.